The hospital corridor stretches before me like a fluorescent-lit tunnel to hell. And my heels click against the linoleum in perfect rhythm with my racing heart. 3 hours ago, I was presenting quarterly projections to the board. Now, I'm chasing down nurses for information about my husband's condition after a fire at some apartment complex I didn't even know existed. Mrs. Lawson? A police officer materializes beside me, his badge catching the harsh overhead light. I'm Officer Martinez. I spoke with you on the phone. I nod, trying to focus on his face instead of the chaos around us. How bad is it? They wouldn't tell me anything over the phone. Your husband's being treated for smoke inhalation and minor burns. He's stable. He pauses, consulting his notepad. Ma'am, do you know why Mr. Lawson was at the Riverside Apartments this afternoon? Something in his tone makes my stomach clench. He's a freelance IT consultant. He must have been working. At apartment 4B? He watches my face carefully. Registered to a Melissa Turner? The name hits me like a physical blow. Melissa. My friend Melissa. The same Melissa who canceled our weekly coffee meetups 3 months ago because she was too busy. The same Melissa who's been asking suspiciously specific questions about Kyle's schedule. There must be some mistake, I manage, but the words taste like ash in my mouth. Mrs. Lawson, the fire started in the bedroom. We found 2 laptops, both severely damaged, and some personal items. I want to scream, to cry, to throw something. Instead, I straighten my spine and ask, is Melissa okay? Mrs. Turner suffered minor burns as well. She's in treatment now. He hesitates. Her husband is on his way. Derek. Poor Derek, about to walk into the same nightmare I'm living. I wonder if he suspected anything. I didn't, or maybe I just didn't want to. Can I see Kyle? Officer Martinez leads me to a room where my husband lies connected to oxygen, his face and arms spotted with angry red burns. His eyes flutter open when I enter, and for a moment, I see panic there before he masks it with relief. Remy, he croaks, reaching for my hand. I can explain. I step back, just out of reach. Save your breath, Kyle. You'll need it to explain to our sons why Daddy won't be coming home tonight. His face crumples, but I'm already turning away. In my mind, I'm calculating bank accounts, custody arrangements, divorce lawyers. And somewhere, beneath the shock and pain, a small, cold voice is planning exactly how I'm going to make them both pay for this. I pause at the door. By the way, how's Melissa? The monitor beside his bed begins beeping faster, and that's all the confirmation I need. My mother always said you could tell everything about a marriage by watching how a couple moves through their kitchen. Tonight, Kyle and I dance our broken choreography around each other, all sharp angles and careful distance. He's been home from the hospital for 3 days, and every moment feels like walking on broken glass. The boys are asking why you're sleeping in the guest room, he says, reaching past me for a coffee mug. His arm brushes mine, and I flinch. Tell them Daddy's burns need special care. The lie tastes bitter, but it's better than the truth. Better than telling our 6-year-old that his father was playing house with Aunt Melissa while their bedroom burned. We need to talk about this, Remy. I slam the dishwasher shut with more force than necessary. Like we talked about your career change? Or how about all those late-night consulting sessions? It wasn't planned. It just happened. The laugh that escapes me sounds foreign, almost hysterical. In Melissa's bedroom? Multiple times? With my friend? Eli appears in the doorway, clutching his stuffed dinosaur. His dark eyes dart between us, too perceptive for his age. Mom? Are you mad at Dad? Kyle moves toward him, but I'm faster. I scoop Eli up, breathing in his clean, little boy scent. No, sweetie. Mom and Dad are just having a grown-up discussion. Where's your brother? Playing trains. Can we have pizza for dinner? Sure, buddy. Go pick out the toppings with Noah. After Eli leaves, Kyle steps closer. I'll move back to the master bedroom tomorrow. For the kid's sake. Touch that bed, and I'll burn it myself. The words come out sharp as knives. I checked our accounts today. Care to explain the $5,000 you withdrew last month? He pales beneath his healing burns. Business expenses. For what business, Kyle? Because I called 3 of your supposed clients. None of them has heard of you. His phone buzzes on the counter. We both stare at it as Melissa's name lights up the screen. My hand moves faster than thought, but Kyle snatches the phone away. Don't, he warns. Why? Afraid I'll discover more than just an affair? Something in his expression confirms my suspicion. What are you really involved in? Leave it alone, Remy. For everyone's sake. The threat in his voice is new, and it sends ice through my veins. But beneath the fear, something else rises, a cold, calculating anger that surprises me with its intensity. You know what's funny? I say, moving toward the door. I actually believed you when you said freelancing would give you more time with the family. I guess you just meant a different family. I leave him standing there, but my mind is already racing ahead. Whatever Kyle and Melissa are hiding, I'm going to find out. And when I do, they'll learn exactly what happens when you underestimate a woman with nothing left to lose. Derek Turner's office feels like a confessional, all dark wood and heavy silence. He sits across from me, staring at the laptop screen where I've pulled up Kyle's bank statements. The transactions paint an ugly picture: regular transfers to offshore accounts, cryptocurrency purchases, and a pattern of withdrawals that reek of something illegal. I always thought Kyle was too stupid for cybercrime, Derek says, his voice flat. Turns out he was just too stupid to hide it well. Melissa's involved too. I slide over my phone, showing him the encrypted messages I'd recovered from Kyle's cloud backup. They've been planning something big. The fire wasn't an accident, it was meant to destroy evidence. Derek's hands curl into fists on his mahogany desk. Did you know she emptied our daughter's college fund last week? The revelation hits like a punch to the gut. How much? 40,000. He laughs, but it sounds like breaking glass. She said it was for a real estate investment opportunity. My phone buzzes, a text from our neighbor. Kyle's loading boxes into his car while I'm supposedly at work. I show Derek the message. He's running, I say. They both are. Let them. Derek opens his desk drawer, pulls out a USB drive. I hired a private investigator 3 months ago. Originally to prove Melissa wasn't cheating. Instead, he found this. The files on the drive make my blood run cold. Screenshots of conversations about data theft, corporate espionage, blackmail. Kyle and Melissa weren't just having an affair, they were targeting both our companies, using our personal information to gain access. They're planning to transfer everything tonight, I say, scanning the messages. Once they do, we'll both be implicated. Derek's face hardens. They used our devices, our networks, our credentials. My phone rings, Eli's school. My son's voice comes through, small and scared. Mom? Dad came to pick us up, but he seemed weird. He said we're going on a surprise trip. The world stops spinning. I meet Derek's eyes, see my own terror reflected there. Sweetie, put your teacher on the phone right now. He's already signed them out, the teacher tells me moments later. Mr. Lawson had all the proper authorization. I'm already running for the door, Derek right behind me. Call the police, he shouts to his secretary. Tell them Kyle Lawson is attempting to kidnap his children. My hands shake as I start the car. All this time, I've been plotting revenge, gathering evidence, playing detective. But Kyle and Melissa have been 10 steps ahead, and now they're using my children as human shields. The rage that fills me isn't hot anymore, it's arctic, crystalline, deadly. They want to play hardball? Fine. But they're about to learn that nothing is more dangerous than a mother protecting her cubs. Police lights flash across the highway signs as we chase Kyle's car north. Derek's at the wheel, his knuckles white on the steering wheel, while I coordinate with the state police on my phone. The laptop between us keeps pinging with alerts, Kyle and Melissa's digital footprints lighting up like toxic breadcrumbs. They're heading for the Canadian border, Derek says, swerving around a slow-moving truck. Latest transaction shows they bought gas in Hartford. My phone chirps, an email from Kyle. Just 2 words, I'm sorry. Attached is a video file that makes my heart stop. It's security footage from 3 months ago, showing Kyle and Melissa in my office after hours, installing something on my computer. They used me, I whisper. Everything they stole from my company. They made it look like I was involved. Derek's jaw tightens. Same play they used on me. That's why they needed our credentials, our devices. Perfect fall guys. A call comes through, the state police. They've spotted Kyle's car at a rest stop, but there's a complication. My boys aren't with him. What do you mean they're not there? My voice sounds strange, distant. Where are my children? Mrs. Lawson, we've detained your husband and Mrs. Turner, but they claim the children are with a friend. They won't give us a name. The world tilts sideways. I start scrolling through my contacts, trying to think who Kyle would trust with our sons. Then my phone buzzes with a text from an unknown number. Kids are safe. Insurance policy. Delete the evidence, or they stay safe with me. A photo follows, Eli and Noah sleeping in an unfamiliar room, my son's favorite dinosaur tucked under his arm. The timestamp shows it was taken 10 minutes ago. Pull over, I tell Derek. When he hesitates, I grab the wheel. Pull over now. The car swerves onto the shoulder. I stumble out, bile rising in my throat. All my careful planning, all my evidence gathering, it's worthless now. Kyle and Melissa weren't just running a scam, they had a whole network. And now that network has my children. Derek's phone rings, Melissa, calling from custody. He puts it on speaker. You have 1 hour, she says, her voice eerily calm. Delete everything you've found, sign the confessions our lawyer will send, or the boys disappear forever. Your choice, Remy. The line goes dead, leaving us with an impossible decision. Save my children, or expose the truth. Be branded a criminal, or risk losing them forever. I look at Derek, see my own desperation reflected in his eyes. We both know what has to happen next, something neither of us can come back from. The police interrogation room feels like a pressure cooker. Kyle sits across from me, his burns still visible, while Derek paces behind my chair. We have 15 minutes left on Melissa's ultimatum. Tell me who has my children, I say, keeping my voice steady despite the tremor in my hands. Kyle's eyes dart to the two-way mirror. You know I can't. Can't, or won't. Derek slams his hands on the table. Your whole operation's exposed. The only card you have left is 2 innocent kids. A slight smile plays at Kyle's lips. Exposed? Check your phone, Derek. My stomach drops as notifications flood our phones. Someone's releasing documents, emails, financial records, all pointing to Derek and me as the masterminds behind the corporate theft. Our company's stock prices are already plummeting. Jesus Christ, Derek whispers, scrolling through the damage. 10 minutes, Kyle says. Sign the confessions, or the next data dump includes evidence of your involvement in international money laundering. Oh, and of course. He glances meaningfully at his watch. I lean forward, close enough to smell his antiseptic-tinged breath. You really think I won't burn everything down to find my sons? That's exactly what I'm counting on. He slides a phone across the table. 1 call. You can either save your children or your reputation. Tick-tock. The door opens. Melissa's being led in by officers, her face a mask of calm determination. She takes one look at the scene and laughs. Did he tell you about the offshore accounts yet? She asks Kyle. The ones in his daughter's name? Derek freezes. What? Oh, honey. Melissa's smile is razor sharp. You really should have checked those investment documents more carefully before signing them. The pieces click into place. This wasn't just about corporate theft, it was about creating the perfect fall guys. Derek and me, desperate parents willing to do anything to protect our children, including taking the blame for their crimes. My phone buzzes. Another photo of my boys, this time awake and crying. The message below reads, 5 minutes. I meet Derek's eyes, see the same desperate calculation there. We could fight, expose everything, maybe even win eventually. But eventually won't save my children now. Kyle pushes a pen toward me. Time to choose, Remy. Your revenge, or your son's? I pick up the pen, but instead of signing, I write an address on my palm. Derek sees it, gives an imperceptible nod. You're right, I tell Kyle, reaching for the confession. A mother would do anything for her children. Including letting the villains think they've won, just long enough to spring the trap we've been setting since that first photo arrived. The warehouse looms against the night sky, its broken windows like jagged teeth. I check my phone's GPS one last time, the signal from Eli's dinosaur toy, the one with the tracker I'd sewn inside months ago. Blink steadily from the 3rd floor. Police are 10 minutes out, Derek whispers beside me. You sure about this? I adjust the wire under my shirt. Kyle and Melissa's signed confessions feel heavy in my pocket, our ticket to freedom, or our death warrant. They'll kill us both if they realize we're stalling. The side door creaks open. A figure emerges, not Kyle or Melissa, but someone I recognize from Kyle's old tech firm. James Chen, the security expert who'd mysteriously disappeared 6 months ago. You're late, he says, weapon visible under his jacket. Phones. We hand them over. He leads us through a maze of abandoned machinery, upstairs that groan under our feet. My heart pounds with each step, knowing we're walking into a trap but having no choice. The 3rd floor is one vast space. In the center, my boys sleep on a makeshift bed, surrounded by computers and servers humming with stolen data. Kyle stands guard, while Melissa types furiously at a terminal. Confessions? Kyle holds out his hand. I pass them over, fighting the urge to break his fingers. Let me see my children. The transfers first, Melissa calls out. Everything goes through, then you get the kids. A screen shows our banking apps, waiting for authorization. One click and we'll surrender everything, our savings, our homes, our futures. All to save my sons. Now, Kyle demands. Derek moves first, entering his codes. I follow, watching our lives drain away in digital rivers. Melissa's smile grows with each transaction. It's done, she announces. James, finish it. The gun appears before I can move. James aims at Derek first, his expression blank. Nothing personal. The shot never comes. Instead, James crumples, revealing Officer Martinez behind him. The warehouse erupts in chaos, police swarming in, Kyle lunging for a laptop, Melissa screaming commands into a phone. I run for my children, but Kyle gets there first. He grabs Eli, using him as a shield. Nobody moves. Time slows. I see everything with crystal clarity, the terror in Eli's eyes, Kyle's finger on the trigger. The USB drive in his other hand containing enough evidence to destroy everyone in the room. Choose, Remy, he snarls. Your son, or the truth about what really happened in that fire. Behind him, Noah stirs, reaching for his brother. One wrong move and everything I love goes up in flames. Again. The warehouse fills with red and blue lights, but they're too late. We're past the point of rescue now. This ends with blood or betrayal, and I'm the one who has to choose which. Kyle's grip on Eli tightens, and my son whimpers. Behind them, Noah crawls beneath a desk, his small form barely visible in the shadows. The USB drive glints in Kyle's hand like a detonator. You really think I didn't plan for this? Kyle's laugh is brittle. Everything on this drive, the real evidence, the offshore accounts. The names of everyone involved, it all uploads automatically if anything happens to me. Melissa backs toward the window, her phone still pressed to her ear. The helicopter's 3 minutes out. It's over, Kyle, Officer Martinez says, his weapon steady. Let the boy go. Or what? You'll shoot me? With my son as a shield? Kyle starts edging toward the fire escape. Nobody moves until we're clear. A small sound draws my attention, Noah, reaching for something under the desk. The dinosaur toy, forgotten in the chaos. Our eyes meet, and I see my own determination reflected in his 4-year-old face. The truth about the fire, I say, taking a step forward. Tell them, Kyle. Tell them why you really started it. His face twists. Shut up. The insurance money wasn't enough, was it? You needed to destroy evidence, but something went wrong. Someone else was there. I said shut up. James Chin wasn't just your partner, he was your victim. The fire was meant to kill him, wasn't it? The warehouse falls silent except for the hum of servers. Even Melissa stops dialing. He found out, I continue, taking another step. About the human trafficking operation you were running through the corporate networks. That's what this is really about. Kyle's grip on Eli loosens slightly. You don't know anything. I know everything. I pull out my phone, not the one James took, but the backup hidden in my shoe. Including the recording of your confession from the hospital. The one where you told Melissa that James survived and was helping the FBI. The color drains from Kyle's face. Behind him, Noah stands up, clutching the dinosaur toy. Now, Eli. I shout. My son drives his elbow back, just like we practiced in self-defense class. As Kyle doubles over, Noah hurls the dinosaur. It hits Kyle's hand, sending the USB drive spinning across the floor. Everything happens at once, officers swarming in, Melissa screaming, Derek tackling Kyle. I dive for my children, shielding them as shots ring out. When the chaos clears, Kyle lies handcuffed, blood seeping from his shoulder. Melissa's caught at the window, her phone showing a final, damning text to their conspirators. Mom? Eli whispers against my neck. Is it over? I hold them both tighter, watching Kyle's empire crumble. Almost, baby. Almost. The courthouse steps feel different under my feet today. No more emergency hearings, no more restraining orders, no more battles over custody and assets. Just the weight of an envelope in my hand, Melissa's letter, delivered by her lawyer after she took the plea deal. Derek stands beside me, watching his own divorce papers flutter in the autumn wind. You going to read it? Not yet. I tuck the envelope deeper into my bag. Some truths can wait. Inside the building, Kyle's sentencing hearing is about to begin. The media's already calling it the biggest corporate espionage and trafficking case of the decade. My testimony helped ensure that, but it wasn't revenge that drove me in the end. It was something colder, cleaner, justice. Mom. Eli's voice echoes across the marble floor. He runs from my parents' side, Noah toddling behind him. Did the judge make it official? I kneel down, straightening Eli's collar. Yes, baby. We're free. Free from what? Noah asks, clutching his new dinosaur toy, this one without any trackers. From lies, I tell him, catching Derek's knowing look. We both learned that lesson the hard way. My phone buzzes, a text from James Chin. He's testifying today, finally strong enough after surviving the fire. The message contains a single photo, Kyle and Melissa's offshore accounts, now frozen and flagged for victim restitution. Ready? Derek asks as we approach the courtroom. I pause, hand on the heavy door. Through the window, I can see Kyle in his prison jumpsuit, Melissa at a separate table with her lawyers. They don't look at each other anymore. Almost. I pull out Melissa's letter, tear it in half without reading it. Some answers aren't worth the price of letting them back into your head. The courtroom doors swing open. Kyle's eyes meet mine for a moment, and I see something there, not remorse exactly, but recognition. He finally understands what I discovered through all this: real power isn't in revenge, but in choosing when to let go. Let's go home, I tell my boys, turning away from the scene. Behind us, the judge's gavel echoes through the hall, sealing Kyle and Melissa's fates. Outside, the autumn sun catches the wedding ring I still haven't removed. I twist it off, feeling its weight one last time. A street vendor sells flowers nearby, bright blooms pushing through concrete cracks, beauty finding its way despite everything. I buy a single rose, place my ring in the center, and leave both on the courthouse steps. Not as a memorial to what was lost, but as a marker for what was found: strength, truth, and the fierce, protective love that burns cleaner than any revenge. Behind me, my sons laugh, racing down the steps toward whatever comes next. I follow them into the light, leaving the ashes where they belong, behind us.